My name is Avi, and I am a grateful, recovered, compulsive overeater. And I love that I get to say that today. This program has absolutely saved my life. And the depths of my gratitude, I hope that I express it in everything that I do today because everything that I did before this, nothing worked. And I was, as the big book described, a compulsive overeater of the hopeless variety. I could not stop eating at all. And when I binged violently and I couldn't stop shoving food in my mouth. And I would shove food in my mouth to the extent that I would pass out. And I would come to in the morning, often hungover from the amount of foods that I would ingest. Or worse, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would continue to shove food in my mouth. And that was from my earliest memory. Food has always been my best friend. It has been my savior. It was my comfort. It was my everything from the time of my earliest memory. For the longest time, I used to think that, I'm this way because of my family or this or that. But you know what? I'm a compulsive eater because I'm a compulsive overeater. It honestly, yes, I had a traumatic childhood. Many of us did. Has nothing to do with me being a compulsive overeater. Food for me for the longest time was the solution. I ran to food for everything. I was happy, food. I was sad, food, anger, food. And I would do anything I could to get food, steal food, sneak food, obsess about getting more food. Um, I remember being in funerals, and my main objective was to get as much food from that table as possible in as sneaky a way as possible so that nobody, or at least I thought nobody, could see me do that. I mean, we've all gotten here in our own way, right? Um, we learn that the similarities is what connects us. Um, you know, Today, I want to go through not as much what it was like, because I think we all have that. We all have, the loneliness, the desperation, the um, just the thought that nothing could work. I've tried all the pain ways. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars. I've tried the drugs, hypnosis. My family tried to bribe me that nothing worked. And it never occurred to me that this program is spiritual. There's not spiritual aspects of it. It is spiritual in its entirety. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just to qualify. I came into this program a year and a half ago, desperate and broken. I came in at 265 pounds, and just to say, I would weigh myself at least 4 times a day, and the scale was my God, hands down. Today, I weigh myself once a month. My last known weight was 140. So I've released, I guess, 125 pounds. But the thing is, the weight that I've released, that's that's like the most uninteresting part of this. At first, it was everything. I chased that number, but today, the lightness that I feel inside me, and the gratitude that I have for this program and for God, I call it's higher power. And when I say God, I mean higher power. It can be anything that you call it. And that is the center of my story. That is what matters today. Nothing else matters. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen so you can kind of see. Um, there we go. That's three of me there. So, and it's funny, I just noticed this. It's like lower, medium, high. Anyhow, so this is me about 2.5 years ago. This is my wife, and I've been with my partner for 25 years, and I adore her, and she adores me and has from the moment we met. Um, but inside, whoops, don't know what happened there. Let me see if I can get that back.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on the screen.
Ah. You didn't see anything. Okay, let me try that one more time. Let me see if I can share this one more time here. Okay, so we got that, and maybe I'm not as technical as I thought I was. Uh, no, we don't want to be sharing. So stop sharing. Let me try that one more time here and see if it'll let me share my other screen. Screen two. Okay, and share. Okay, do you see my screen now?
Now we do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. I wonder what's happening. That is so bizarre.
We saw just a glimpse, just a little teaser.
Yeah, no, it just went black. I don't know why it just went black. Okay, well, I'm gonna try one more thing, one more way, and maybe it won't go black this time. Who knows? We'll try it one more time, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't
Yep. Mm-hmm.
work. Okay, so screen two and share.
Oh.
Okay, do you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, and you should see hopefully screen two is being shared. It doesn't tell me. So you should see me there. And this is me about 2 years ago. And I was with like my wife and we were in Hawaii actually. And I was happy to be there with her, but I was so dead inside. I couldn't stop sneaking and stealing. And I knew precisely how long it would take her to go to the washroom so I could go and shove more food in my mouth. I couldn't stop eating. This is me 2 weeks into recovery, and I see the light in my eyes there. And I was so happy to have found this program. So I'm still in a much larger body there, but I was thrilled and the lightness that I felt. I had the gift of being struck abstinent from the moment, and I'll talk briefly about what that looked like. So not only that, but also the spiritual experience. And then this is me about 3 months ago. This is with my mom. We were in Amsterdam and it was fabulous. And navigating this world in a much smaller body has certainly been interesting. I've never been small before. I think to be honest, I still get a kick out of going into stores and actually buying clothes in regular size stores, which I never used to be able to do, right? But again, that I don't know how to describe it better. Like, yes, it's nice. Like, I can't tell you no that it's not nice. Of course it is, right? But the spiritual lightness that I have today, the love that I have for this program, I just stopped sharing now, so you don't need to see that anymore. Um, the gifts that this program offers, that God offers, has been everything. And the thing that I know is true today, this disease is so much bigger than me. I do not have any control over this disease. And if I ever thought I did, it's an illusion. I don't. So, I mean, I can think I do, but it's a waste of time, right? So, this disease is so much bigger than me, but God is so much bigger than this disease. And I stand by that. For me, being in the center and knowing that I am connected to my higher power is everything. So I came into OA through another program. I have 25 years clean and sober, but through that entire time, I kept shoving food into my mouth because I couldn't stand feeling, even though I wasn't using drugs or alcohol. I call myself an equal opportunity addict. I can use anything that will make me not feel anything, right? And food was my first love, and it always was there. So up until I came, and actually I should say, somebody suggested to me when I was about 2 years clean and sober, right? And they said, you might want to try Overeaters Anonymous. I was like, well, what's that? Right. And so I walked into this meeting. This one it was all, I love that you're all in person here. I walked into this meeting, and this is me. So I was not in a very good place at the time, right? So in my perception, everybody was skinny and happy. And my thought was, I have nothing in common with these people. And I thought, what are you doing at an Overeaters Anonymous meeting? And of course, that wasn't the case, but that's what I saw. And then when they introduced themselves as compulsive overeaters, I was like, oh, hell no, I will never use the C word ever. So but being the good little addict that I was, I bought every book that they had. So I thought I could get this program by osmosis. I'll buy the books, I'll go away, and I'll be fine. Thank you very much. And no one is going to touch my food. So I went on my merry way for another 20 plus years. And I broke down. I can remember that moment. I don't know if y'all have had this, but the moment that I didn't care anymore and I was eating to die and I did not care. And my favorite nights were when my partner was going out and I could have everything in front of me and nobody was there to judge me. And I would actually make grunting sounds as I was shoving the food in my mouth because I couldn't get it in fast enough. And I remember it was April 1st when I just woke up from another binge and I was so broken and so desperate. And I did the God prayer and I just went, God, please, I don't want to die this way. And I just said, I've been through so much in my life. There's no way you would have brought me this far for me to be in this much pain. And I just said, please help me. And then I remembered I had these books in the back of my closet and I went and dug through the closet and I found the 12 and 12 and I read step one and I just started sobbing. And everything just made so much sense because it finally clicked that I'm a compulsive overeater. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And that's okay. And this poor little kid inside me that was trying to parent me and trying to make it all be okay worked so hard to keep me safe. And that doesn't need to happen anymore because I am a compulsive overeater. And quite frankly, after that finally landed, after I finally got it, there was so much relief in that. There's so much relief because I don't need to figure out why. It doesn't matter why. What matters is what I do today, right? So I was, as I say, struck abstinent. Like my alcoholic foods is where I call it recreational sugar, so I don't have to like we know what that is, right? And from that moment on April 1st, the compulsion to eat recreational sugar, the interest, the desire completely left me. And I am completely and have been completely neutral about recreational sugar from that moment. And that's God. There's no explanation other than that is God. It is a miracle. Um, Now, that's to say, our definition of abstinence is not just refrain from your alcoholic foods, it's also your behaviors and working towards a healthy body weight as determined by your healthcare practitioner. I have no say in this anymore, right? I work with a nutritionist today. I do my conscious contact with God today. I listen and I follow. It is not up to me today at all. So, where I fell down, right, and where I have struggled in the past, and I got into a period of chronic relapse is around the behaviors, right? And like that surprised me. And with alcohol and drugs, you don't use alcohol and drugs, right? We face food at least 3 times a day. And I heard somebody say, it's like we have to respect that. It's like letting the tiger out of the cage 3 times a day. And if you don't pay attention to that, and if you don't um, have that spiritual alignment, it can get really dangerous. Actually, it's funny. I have these on my desk. I'm at my home office and I have these two ducks in front of me, right? This one is the tiger. When I'm in trouble, right? It gets really angry, really loud. And this is the tiger when it's like, you know what? You're feeding yourself 3 times a day. And I should say what I do for my recovery today. Is I weigh and measure everything. So my food plan, I write it out ahead of time. I send it to my sponsor. Like I said, I don't eat beyond what I weigh and measure. And the thing is, nobody could have told me that there was freedom in that. And at first, when it was first suggested to me, I was like, that's never going to happen. Like it just is not going to happen. And my sponsor said to me, you know what? Act as if. Because I'm a volume eater. And when I first started in recovery, um, I thought, well, I'll do this one plate rule that people talk about, right? And I learned that a plate could be a platter, and I learned how to balance food. I know it says the word moderate, but I'm a volume eater. Moderate means nothing to me, right? So I learned how to maximize that size that way and that way. And I did a damn good job of it, right? Because I'm that kind of person. And it was very apparent, though, quite quickly that, I was just hurting myself in that. And it was suggested to me to work with a nutritionist, right? And so I thought, okay, well, I'll do that, right? And my nutritionist gave me unlimited vegetables. And oh my goodness, did I ever hook into that word? And she also said one piece of fruit. Well, one piece of fruit started out to be like, a moderate apple. Then it turned in, I don't know if you guys know what sugar bee apples are. They're big. And then I thought, well, you know what? I get one piece of fruit. I can have a melon. I can have a melon, and that is one piece of fruit, and I'm good. I'm abstinent because that's how my brain works, right? My brain will take every opportunity and unlimited vegetables. Oh, yes. Let's just say that my gastrointestinal system was not a friend. But you know what? I was chasing the effect. I could get that. And what I learned in recovery is I could get that effect, that fullness through anything, right? And that became then weighing and measuring 3 times, oh, like on my meals, weighing and measuring, right? Reporting ahead of time. And I don't make changes to my food plan unless something is spoiled or it's missing. I am very rigorous around that. And when I was eating beyond my food plan, when I was in my period of chronic relapse, I was doing it out of fear. I had this fear that I just wasn't getting enough. And of course I was because I was working with a nutritionist, and the nutritionist was setting out my food plan according to my the size of where I was at in my body. So what I've learned today is that living in fear is living in the future of something that hasn't happened yet. I'm not in alignment with God. And living in resentments is living in the past. It's replaying and replaying, wishing for a different result. There's no point. I mean, this life, oh my God, being recovered today is the most beautiful experience I've ever had the gift of having. And I want to do everything I can to support others in that. So what I do, how I stay abstinent today, abstinence is just the beginning. It's just the start, right? That's the foundation of my recovery because without abstinence, I can't live a recovered life. I can't, right? So I start my day, and the first time my sponsor suggested to me, she's like, well, you're going to spend 30 minutes in the morning with your higher power. And I'm like, I'm busy in the morning. I don't have time for that. And she's like, get your ass out of bed 30 minutes earlier. You can do this, right? Like talking to me like I'm a petulant little child because I was, right? I mean, I want to say that I was willing to go to any lengths. I mean, I sponsor today. I wouldn't have wanted me as a sponsor when I first came in, right? Because this program works. The answer is in the big book. But as we say, half measures avail us nothing. It will not work. It just won't. Right? We have to do, and that we say, these are suggested. But if we take this program, I mean, for problem eaters, pay and ways will work, right? For people like us, it won't work. But we have to do the program in its entirety, right? So what I do today, I get up an hour and a half earlier now than what I used to. But you know what? When I wake up in the morning, I have my first prayer that I do in bed, thanking God for returning my consciousness to this beautiful body that I've been gifted, right? Because this body just kept showing up, even though I used to beat the crap out of it all the time, but it just kept showing up. And now I have the gift of being able to nourish it and feed it fuel. Food is uninteresting to me today. It's fuel. I enjoy it. I enjoy my food. Sure, I do. But it enables me to show up today, to do the things I get to do. So today I spend about 45 minutes in the morning with God. I pray, meditate. I have my readers that I love. And then I write a letter to God. It's just a one page in a journal. I write a letter to God. It's Dear God. And I mean, God knows everything anyhow, but that's how I work through things. Um, I do my reporting in the morning, and I eat my abstinent breakfast. I check in with God throughout the day. I have two sponsees. I have a sponsor. I do a meeting a day. I do one live, no, when I say live, I mean Zoom. I do a live meeting every day. I do at least three phone, not sorry, I shouldn't say phone calls. I talk to three fellows a day. Sometimes it's like 10 calls. It's a lot sometimes. But you know what? I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to connect. Because, this disease thrives in isolation. It wants us. I mean, there's like this thing waiting inside that is just waiting. And there's things that come up even today that I go, oh my goodness, like where, like, and that's the thing, those thoughts will come to me. I mean, my head is out to get me sometimes. I'm not responsible for my first thought, but I'm absolutely responsible for my second thought. I'm absolutely responsible for my next action. I am today. So I check in with God throughout the day. I show up today. I am present today. I do my 11th step review every night. Sometimes I finish it in the morning, but I do that every day. I do my 10 steps when I cannot afford the luxury of holding on to resentment. Like somebody I heard say, what about those long held resentments? And it's like, get rid of them. This life is too beautiful to hold on to them. So, for today, I love, I love being in this program. I love meeting other fellows. I love everything that we get to do today. This is a design for living, and it is the most important. No, I should say it is the first thing for me, right? My partner is everything to me. I adore her and the gifts that we have together, but nothing has promised me today. I get to show up, I get to be of service, and I get to do this program one day at a time. And sometimes it's one moment at a time, and that's okay too. Because when I see the behaviors come up, I can pause, and that's what our big book says. The thing that I love, and I'll leave this, and I notice I'm at time now, is that deep down inside us is the fundamental idea of God, and that God resides within every one of us and guides us if only we call God in. God is always there for us no matter what. And for that and so much else, I am truly grateful. And Shinwindo, thank you for asking me to share. I'll pass.